Hello everyone, and welcome back to Babbling with Brooke, the podcast. If you're new here, my name is Brooke, and welcome. It's great to see you here. I believe this is now the 4th episode of the podcast, so it's been going really well. However, this episode is actually the second time I am recording it because the first time I just didn't like how it turned out and was not proud of it, did not like how it went. The power actually went out in the middle of me filming it and recording it, so I just decided to do a do-over because it really it kind of threw me off with the power going out and everything else. The lighting wasn't good, all that stuff. So like I said, lighting isn't good. If you are listening right now, that won't matter. But if you are watching on YouTube, because I also post this podcast on YouTube, if you want to check that out, you can too, if you want the actual visual. However, it's just me sitting talking, so that's up to you. But if you are watching on YouTube and you want to just listen maybe while you go out for a walk for a day, in the car, whatever, you can also do that on your favorite listening platforms, including Spotify, Apple Music, CastBox, Anchor, really anything you want to. I'm on a bunch of different listening platforms. Today, though, we are actually getting into our first little, we could call it a Disney news episode. However, like I said in the very first episode, I don't really want to talk about Disney news. I'm not here to announce new things to you because it's already been announced a while ago. I just want to talk about my opinion on it. And that being said, we're talking EPCOT Flower and Garden Festival, which just started on March 1st. When I'm filming this, it's March 3rd. When you're seeing this, it'll be like the 5th or 6th or something. So, Flower and Garden just started. I love Flower and Garden. Flower and Garden is one of my favorite Epcot festivals. That being said, I've only been to Flower and Garden and Food and Wine. So, I mean, it's a good festival. It's a really long festival. It goes until July this year, so literally March to July. So it's there for a good chunk of the year. Food and Wine's there for the rest. Festival of the Holidays and Festival of the Arts are so short, and I don't understand why. I feel like they could make Festival of the Arts longer. And make it into March, and then they could make Food and Wine shorter and do Festival of the Holidays in November and December. I don't know. I feel like that would work better, or even if they wanted to introduce a brand new festival over the summer months instead of having Food and Wine. I'm going to assume it's going to start in July, right after Flower and Garden ends, and Food and Wine in July just never really hits because a lot of it's like hot, very savory food, and when it's well over 100 degrees in Florida, I personally don't feel like eating hot food or even drinking wine. Like, I want something that's iced and cold and just, you know, like a Mexico margarita. If they did some sort of summer festival, I feel like that would be a lot better. That would always, that's my personal preference. Disney, that is my idea, and I think you should do it. Speaking of summery drinks, I'm drinking pomegranate lemonade today. We got the ice in it. It's delicious. I literally just got it at Zayre's, Loblaws, Superstore, wherever you grocery shop. President's Choice. It's President's Choice pomegranate lemonade for my Canadians, and it's absolutely delicious. Highly recommend if you're looking for maybe a drink mix for those patio drinks in the summer, or just a fun little lemonade drink. It really reminds me of a Starbucks refresher. I think if you add some green tea in there, it would really, really taste like a green tea lemonade from Starbucks with pomegranate in it. But that's besides the point. We are talking Flower and Garden today. So like I said, I've been to the Flower and Garden Festival before. All my cultural exchange programs happened during the Flower and Garden Festival. So 18, 19, 22, all those summers I went to the Flower and Garden Festival, and then also I went a couple of years when I was a kid because we used to take trips over the May 2-4 weekend. The week before that is when we would take our Disney trips. So a couple times. We then started taking them late August, but for the first little bit we were taking them in May, and we saw a lot of Flower and Garden festivals then. So really my first introduction to Epcot was during a Flower and Garden Festival, which is really cool. So it kind of has the throwbacks. I remember there being a lot of tapestries when I was a kid. And by tapestries, I definitely meant topiaries. I don't think there was as big of an emphasis on food. I remember they used to give you the really, really big pamphlets. Literally, they were 8x10s folded in half instead of the little ones you get nowadays. And there was a lot more on the actual flowers versus just a big focus on food. I feel like all the Epcot festivals now, the focus is on food, whereas not as much like, like flowers. I feel like they could do a lot of workshops and stuff with that they just don't necessarily do as much as I think they could. Realistically now, honestly, I feel like all the Epcot festivals are the same, just with slightly different theming. Like, there's nothing that, I believe all of them have concerts now. All of them have like some sort of topiaries or something, like attraction type things that you can walk past, and then all of them have food and all of them have merch, and that's basically the gist of what all of them are. Yeah, I don't know. I mean, obviously I love it, and I love looking at the topiaries. Topiaries last year were around for quite a while, even into food and wine, and I'm just looking online right now at all the topiaries. I'm not going to get to go to Flower and Garden this year, which makes me really sad because it does end, I want to say it ends like July 5th or something like that, and I will not be going there until hopefully the week after. That's not confirmed yet, but around mid-July is when I'm going to be going back next time. Not 100% confirmed, but we're trying to get it confirmed, and by then Flower and Garden will be over, which is kind of sad, but I will 100% definitely get to see it in 2024, because if you didn't know, I got accepted to another Disney program. Yay. And this time I'm doing the cultural representative program, which means I'm going to be working in Epcot in the Canada Pavilion for one entire year. I start in December and I go till December, and it's going to be an entire year of me in Disney World working there, which is going to be so cool. I can't wait to actually move this podcast to Disney. Like, can you imagine if we film this podcast like on the Hubgrass in Magic Kingdom? We could totally do that. That would be like the coolest thing, like live from Magic Kingdom podcasts. I'm so obsessed with the thought of doing that. Or like we could go to the Flower and Garden Festival and talk about it while we are there. So many cool opportunities. So I'm really excited for that. I'm excited to see all the other Epcot festivals too while I'm there. Like, I literally get to see everything. I'm there for a whole year. It is going to be the coolest thing. But getting into what Flower and Garden has this year, we're looking at topiaries first, and I am always so obsessed with whatever Disney does in front of Spaceship Earth. So when you walk in the main entrance, there's always some sort of big topiaries in the center there. I remember they usually do them with like Mickey and Minnie, from what I remember, like the classic kind of Fab Five characters. But this year it's Encanto, and when I tell you I am obsessed with Encanto, I have watched it so many times. That movie hits so hard. It is definitely in like my top 5 favorite Disney movies. I don't even think I have like a full top 5 list, but like it is high up there. I'm literally wearing an Encanto shirt today just by chance, just when I got off of Amazon, and I love Encanto. That's like one of my comfort movies, my go-to. If I was a kid, I would be Encanto, everything, obsessed with it. So, I love this topiary. We have, I mean, like, I don't even know what to say about it. It's gorgeous. You have a bunch of the characters there. Mirabelle holding a butterfly. It's so cute. Yeah, like, they're just absolutely gorgeous. We have Louisa standing there, we have Isabella, and Isabella is actually covered in different colored flowers, and the rest of the characters are mainly green, which I think is also really interesting too. Like, obviously there was a lot of thought put into that, and I think the way it's created tells some sort of a story of how Isabella created the flowers around the characters, like, in that topiary. But you could even expand that to be like, this is Isabella's festival if you wanted to. Like, she's at the front entrance, she's the one creating the flowers. Like, you could make up a whole story with that. Maybe I'm just like overthinking everything, but I think it's adorable. I'm even looking like Mirabelle's glasses. There's so much detail in their dresses, in their facial features. It's actually quite amazing what they can do with flowers and just greenery, and you can tell the Imagineers worked so hard on these topiaries, and they just look stunning. Then at the entrance to World Showcase, we do have the classic, Mickey, Minnie, Pluto, Chip and Dale. I don't know about Mickey and Minnie this year, y'all. They look a little Their faces are different. I'll just leave it at that. I'm not really sure what's going on there. There's another Mickey and Minnie though at the other entrance, like the back entrance by the France Pavilion and that. There's another Mickey and Minnie that look so much better. They look very stunning. We have our Woody and Bo Peep and the sheep. And of course we have Goofy. I love this Goofy one. He's in a different spot all the time. And he's holding little flowers this year. Tiana, I think Tiana's a new one. I don't remember seeing Tiana before, but she looks stunning in the American Adventure. Also, once again, the detail on her face. You know what? Yeah, I definitely think it's a new one because you can tell the amount of work that went into the facial features on the new ones this year. It's amazing, and I hope that they maybe overhaul a couple of the old ones to change it to these new ones, because they are really, really stunning. Three Caballeros are really vibrant. However, I think it's just the pic I'm looking at. Someone increased the saturation hardcore. We got Anna and Elsa, classics. They've been around for a while. I like how some of them are not Disney themed. So we have the Troll outside of Norway, which I think is a really cute little nod to the Maelstrom ride, because I really miss that ride. And then like the dragon outside of China, really, really detailed. I would be really interested to see this up close because I think it looks like it's succulents that are on him, which is really cool. Like a ton of different succulents. It's really interesting. It's not just like blooming flowers, like it's actual succulents. Then of course we have Lion King ones. We got Snow White and the Seven Dwarfs, another classic one, right by Germany, I believe. I think they were in the same spot last year. Usually they move them all around a bit, but I think the Seven Dwarfs are in the same spot. And same with Lady and the Tramp. I think they're in the same spot as last year too. That's kind of disappointing. I thought they moved them all around. I didn't think they were ever in the same spot 2 years in a row, but I guess they are. Beauty and the Beast are in the same spot as well. Yeah, oh, that's too bad. Kermit and Miss Piggy between France and Morocco. Peter Pan in the same spots. The Winnie the Pooh characters. Actually, the Winnie the Pooh characters, I think, are always in the same spot. Tinkerbell is in the same spot. Yeah, oh, that's kind of... I wish they had moved them around a bit more because I feel like they're in the same spot. The geese in the Canada Pavilion, though, we love to see it. I don't think these have been here before, and if they have been, I've never seen it, but they look stunning. They look so good, and I think it's a really good representation of Canada, and they really fit in the pavilion where they put them in the garden there without taking away from the beauty of it. They just really flow into it. Of course, we got butterflies, and I believe they're right outside. Yeah, they're right outside the butterfly garden, which I guess is a Flower and Garden exclusive. If you do not know, I have a terrifying fear of butterflies. I went in the butterfly garden for the very first time last year, and I did okay because they were tiny. I don't like ginormous butterflies. I don't like large butterflies. I don't like monarchs are too big for me. Like, I'm okay with little moths, and when they're not flying at me, the ones at the Disney Butterfly Garden kind of stayed in their own lane. They didn't fly at me, and they were tiny, which is why I was okay with it. But you will not catch me going in a butterfly conservatory anytime soon. When I did it, I was just like, okay, let's face my fear. Let's experience this. I've never done this before. I was waiting for Winnie the Pooh to come out, and I was like, let's do it. And don't get me wrong, I am so glad I did it. But I am still quite terrified of butterflies for sure. So we have the Butterfly Garden. I know there's also some other booths that I'm not sure are here this year. I know they've been around in the past, but I'm not sure if they're actually here this year because I haven't seen photos of them yet. But I know in the past Off, like the mosquito repellent and bug spray brand, has done a little garden with like picnic tables and stuff in the area. And then every year to the playground usually gets some sort of flower and garden-ish theme. I know there's also usually a scavenger hunt, which I also have not seen photos of, so they better have that this year, but I haven't seen anyone post any pictures of it. The scavenger hunt, where you purchase a map for like $10. Actually, I think they increased the price, but what didn't they increase the price of? Let's be honest. I still think it's worth it though. I love these maps. You get a map and you go around World Showcase trying to find the Disney characters, and then when you're done, you get a prize. Of course, you could do this too without even purchasing the map. You can just go find whatever character it is you're supposed to be looking for in each pavilion. I think it's an amazing way to explore each pavilion a little bit, because you're really going in depth into the pavilion. It's an afternoon activity, a way to explore, a way to see everything around the festival, especially if you don't want to purchase the food items. This is a really great way to kind of get involved in that, and you do get a really nice prize at the end, and I have never been disappointed in the prizes. I've gotten like Tupperware dishes is what I got last year. The year before that, I got this little like ceramic... It was another dish. It was like a little ceramic dish, but it was really, really cute. Actually, I think that's the one I got, food and wine. My friend Ariane just got the Festival of the Arts one, which was like a paint your own figment, and I am so regretting not being able to go to Festival of the Arts to see that, because it is adorable and I would have died for a paint your own figment. But so many opportunities, so I kind of am curious if they still have that going on, because I am really going to miss that if it's not there. As for the concert lineup, we have the what's it called? The In the Bloom with Garden Rocks concert. That is what they call it. They call it the Garden Rocks concert, and we have our full lineup. And let me tell you, I don't listen to a lot of different artists. I listen to Taylor Swift. That is the extent of my music genre listening, or I listen to Disney music. So I don't know a lot of artists. I really did like the thought, though, a couple years ago when they had local Florida bands come and perform back when COVID was hitting, not like the big bands, like they just had local Florida bands, and I think that's really great exposure for them. They do have a cool couple new people performing this year. The ones that I recognize are, I believe Smash Mouth is here, Simple Plan, that's pretty much it, Kool and the Gang. Yeah, I really don't recognize a lot of names on this list. April 3rd intrigues me. It says to be determined. That could either be because A, they don't have anyone, or B, because they have someone really, really, really cool and they just don't want to announce it yet. So that'll be interesting to see, but yeah, there's a ton of different artists there. So if the concerts are your thing, definitely check that out. Make sure you get in line early. They're not really my thing to go to. I would go to Simple Plan, and I think I would go to Smash Mouth, and that would be like the only ones I would really have interest in. Otherwise, just listening to their music walking past the American Pavilion would be more than fine with me. I don't find the need to actually sit and watch the concerts, but I know a lot of people really do love that. And I think it's also a really, really great deal to... You're just paying park admission, and then you're getting this concert included in that. And I think that's amazing, especially for some of the bigger names who maybe don't perform really anymore, or you just have to pay a lot to go to their concerts and travel to their concerts, and this is like one of their concerts included in your Disney vacation. I think that's really cool. Now, food. And I know food is a big topic with these festivals. This is side note, I need to put on hand cream so bad. My hands are like cracking because of how dry it is in my apartment. But food is one of the main things at EPCOT festivals, all EPCOT festivals. Let's be honest, it is, you know? So I just wanted to go over some of the new things, the things that are interesting to me. As we know, I have to watch what I eat at these festivals because of allergies. So Epcot Flower and Garden Festival is like the worst one for me, always with allergies, and they just keep adding these edible flowers onto more and more things, which just absolutely scares me, which is why I bring Benadryl to Epcot every single time I go. But there are some really cool items on here, and I think the place that stands out to me the most is EPCOT. I love breakfast foods. I'm just obsessed with breakfast. I feel like a lot of people are, but I am really, really obsessed with breakfast foods. And there are so many things here that look so good. First off the bat, the Eggs Benedict. Oh my gosh. Like, if I was in Epcot right now, I would just eat breakfast at Epcot every single day. Actually, scratch that. I would only eat food at this festival because it all just looks so good. But the Eggs Benedict and also the fried cinnamon roll bites. I had the fried cinnamon roll bites at Food and Wine, I want to say, last year, and they came with an extra cinnamon roll bite. So I was looking at the photo of them, and I believe there's only 2 that it comes with this year, and it's the same price as when it used to come with 3 previously, which is really interesting. Unless the photo I've seen, it does come with 3, and I just saw like a wrong photo or something, but yeah, I don't know. They also have the Fruit Loops shake, which I've never gotten the chance to try, and I really want to try it. A peach Bellini. I am always down for a peach Bellini. And they also have a Joffrey's cold brew cocktail. Everything here looks amazing. Hands down. Like, this would be one of the booths I would be just running to, honestly. Like, it just looks that good. The Citrus Blossom, you can get your Orange Bird sipper cups. Not my thing, but if that is your thing, you can totally do that. Street corn, I don't think we've had street corn before, and that's at Florida Fresh. I would definitely be down to try that. I think it's really interesting. Grilled street corn on the cob, different flavors and stuff. The fish slider kind of sketches me out. I'm like, are you gonna eat fish at an Epcot festival? But at the same time, I'm like, I ate fish at Columbia Harbor House, and it has been absolutely amazing. Frushi, a classic, but once again, not my thing. The chicken and waffles, originally I looked at and I was like, this is going to be amazing. It's only $6.75. It's new at the Honey Bistro. It looks so good, but I've heard a lot of reviews so far say it's bad, which worries me. Everyone said the chicken is really rubbery. And nothing bothers me more than rubbery chicken. I don't like meat and that in general usually. So when I eat meat, like, it needs to taste good, because it's just, I don't like the taste of a lot of meat, and grilled chicken would literally make me want to gag, like grizzly rubbery chicken. So maybe not, but they do have a flatbread there that also looks really good, and a cheesecake all at the Honey Bistro. We have a peach cobbler freeze, which looks amazing as a drink. There's so many drinks here I would want to try. I think I would want to try at least one drink at every booth. Like, they all sound so good, alcoholic or non-alcoholic. Like, they just sound really good. The house-made cheesy crab wontons at the Lotus House, I think went up in price again, guys, but they're amazing. Like, I can't even hate on them because they're just so good. I would still pay that price for them because they are just amazing. They taste so good. You got your crab cheese. I also think that could be something I could make at home, though, for, like, fairly cheap. That might be something I want to try. Northern Bloom, we have my Canada representation. We have a maple popcorn shake for $4.75. Would try, don't know if I would like. Yeah, maple popcorn shake. I'm not, is it even legal to say that I'm not a huge maple fan? Like, I like maple syrup, but maple in itself kind of reminds me of caramel, and I don't really like caramel. So I feel like it would just be too sweet, a maple popcorn shake. Like, in my head, I'm thinking like a caramel popcorn shake, like same kind of vibes, because I've had the maple popcorn. It basically is like a type of caramel corn. So that's kind of, I don't know, maybe. Yeah, I don't know. They do have Dole Whip once again this year, and the refreshment port has poutine. Don't eat the poutine at refreshment port. It's nothing like the stuff in Canada. Don't trust it. That is my biggest beef with the Epcot, is the poutine. We do have Trowel and Trellis, hosted by Impossible Foods, and the Impossible Foods at Disney are my favorite because they're all so delicious, and of course none of them actually have meat in them. I am not by any means like vegetarian or vegan or anything like that. I just, once again, don't like to eat meat that much. So first off, we have an Impossible Korean short rib. I'm not a huge rib person, but it intrigues me for sure. And then we have Impossible Lumpia with Thai sweet chili sauce. I do not know what lumpia is, but Thai sweet chili sauce runs my life. If it has Thai sweet chili sauce on it, I will try it. I'm a big spicy foods person, or like foods with kind of like a kick to it. Love it. And sweet chili sauce, my favorite thing. That booth also has the Twinings iced green tea with cranberry and lime. And you cannot go wrong with an iced green tea. Nothing is bad with iced green tea, I will say. And then we have specialty Joffrey's drinks, which once again, I would try them all. I am a huge coffee and cold drink person. Any cold frozen drink I am here for. We have exotic lemon tea. They have an Annual Passholder exclusive honey nut latte, which makes me really sad because I am not renewing my annual pass this year because I simply cannot afford it unless I come across some big amount of money or something. I cannot renew my annual pass this year. So I guess never say never in case I don't know, maybe somehow I win like a $10,000 scholarship or something. I don't know. Then I can renew it. But until then, we got to focus on paying for my academic exchange program if I get it. If I don't get into the academic exchange program, actually, I have a ton of money saved, so maybe I will renew it. But the fingers are crossed and the chances are looking really good for that academic exchange program, so that's kind of what we're manifesting. We have a Melonade near Canada, which is frozen lemon with watermelon, and normally this would sound really sweet, but the frozen lemon at Joffrey's is to die for, so I would definitely try it with watermelon. Orange cream cold brew. This might be the one I skip just because I really don't believe in orange flavored things. It's giving orange chocolate, which is just disgusting to me. Same with key lime cold brew. It's giving like key lime chocolate. I don't know why I'm thinking chocolate, but it doesn't sound good to me, I guess. But the other ones I would try, and honestly, you know what? I might even try them, or I would even try them potentially, but they're just not on the top of my list. I know we don't like fully trust Disney Food Blog as like an accurate resource, but they do have some really nice little menus that they made up of all the offerings at the festival and have photos of everything, and it is really cool. So if you did want something like that, we don't trust them for their speculations, but we do trust them for their graphics, I guess. I don't know. But that's food at Flower and Garden, and it really does look amazing. And then finally we go on to the merch. And the merch is usually what kills me. Like, the merch is usually what kills my wallet because I'm like, I want all of it. It's here for a limited time. Give me all of it. I will purchase all of it. I want it all. This year, though, I don't know. I opened up the merch, like, because obviously the news outlets do reports on what's available. I don't know how I feel about it. First off, the first thing I opened it to, and this might be why I feel off about all of it, is because I hate the first thing so much, and that is the Orange Bird Spirit jersey. It is like this orange and yellow block, and the yellow to me looks like a very like pukey kind of yellow, and it's $80, and I just absolutely hate it. I think it is so ugly. I don't know. I mean, the font on the back is like kind of cute, but the front, no, like it's just bad. The Orange Bird tee, once again, same kind of vibes, like this yellow, the graphic, really cute, but I cannot get behind this yellow color. I wouldn't personally wear the shorts and the tank. The baseball cap is kind of cute. The ears, what bothers me about the ears is, if you haven't seen the ears, basically, they're like a faux leather kind of material, which I love in Disney ears, and they have a sparkly orange bow. And on the faux leather is 2 pictures of the orange bird on either side. But I think what bothers me the most about them is that the bow covers up the orange bird's face on both sides. So you have these really cute ears, and then you have this bow that's just in the middle. I think they could have made these ears really cute without having a bow on them at all. I think if you want to take the bow off, it would really add to it, and it gives that kind of vintagey orange bird vibe in the ears, and I think they would be cute then. But the bow and the ears are like cute individually, but I just don't like that the bow covers up the orange bird. The Loungefly is really cute, though, I will say. If someone was wearing like the ears and the Loungefly together, that would be pretty cute. The Magic Band is just a regular Magic Band. It's not a Magic Band Plus, so I don't think I would buy it just for that reason. And the pin is $17.99 and looks a little cheaply made, if I'm being honest. It's not my favorite. Oh, there's another pin though. This Flower Power pin is actually kind of cute. I kind of like that one. And the mug, I do like the mug. I've never been a fan of these salt and pepper shakers that are the trash cans, but they could be kind of fun. A stepping stone for your yard. I like that the merch for this festival is usually a little different. There's usually a couple unique kind of items versus just your classic like t-shirts and that. So as a stepping stone, like that's kind of cool. That's kind of fun. The only problem I could see is a lot of people probably can't bring this home because it'd be very heavy for their luggage. So I guess maybe more of like a Florida local kind of item, maybe. But even as like a display item, I will say I do like how they have on the front, they have the orange bird, and then they've created a image, I guess you could say, of Spaceship Earth on it as well. And instead of the triangles, they have little like flowers and oranges blooming on it. So that's also really, really cool, I think. And the planter, I like the idea of the planter, but the orange bird's face is just a little strange on it to me. The Christmas ornament is also adorable though, and I'm also kind of into the sipper. The sipper kind of has that same pattern as the back of the spirit jersey and the ears, but I think it just looks a lot nicer with kind of a glaze over it. And then the orange bird sipper, not my thing. This Snow White collection, once again, not my thing. And I didn't want to come in here and complain about all this merch. Like, I really didn't. I wanted to love it. But at the same time, I cannot get behind this collection. This Snow White collection is just so... I think what bothers me the most about it is it doesn't... Like, where does it come into Flower and Garden? Nothing about it says Flower and Garden to me. I forget, did they do Beauty and the Beast last year? Was that what it was, or was that for Food and Wine? Like when they do Tiana for Food and Wine, that makes sense because she's all into baking and stuff. So I feel like how does Snow White tie into Flower and Garden? There are other movies like Alice in Wonderland, for example, could do a really cute Flower and Garden merch collection because there's so many flowers as like a part of the movie, like painting the roses red. Like that could be a whole thing. The singing flowers, all of that. I don't think they've even done an Alice in Wonderland collection for Food and Wine. For Flower and Garden. Maybe they have. I don't know, but that could be a thing. Snow White, I just don't see the correlation. I also think they could have made really cute Disney 100 and Flower and Garden merch. I think there could have been a tie-in there, and they didn't do anything for that either. Figments, so there's this green t-shirt that I think would have been cuter as just like a boxy tee, but instead it has a little tie on the front. So the knot tees are not my thing, but I do really like the image on it. The Figment collection, out of all the collections, is probably my favorite. I really like this sketch image of Figment they have going on. It's very spring-like, it's very cute. Let Your Imagination is kind of the theme they got going on here, and I like that because with flowers, it's like let your imagination grow, I guess. Like you're growing flowers and it's colorful and it's creativity and all that kind of stuff you can really tie into Flower and Garden. But then again, they did just do a big Figment collection for Festival of the Arts. But then again, I think they do a Figment collection for every single season. So that's neither here nor there. The Loungefly is where the Figment collection like really pops off. I know the Loungeflies are already sold out, but I think that's because the resellers got a hold of them. But it's so cute. It's Figment watering some plants that are shaped like Mickeys, and the zipper is actually a Mickey terrarium. So the little zipper charm is like a little terrarium with a little Mickey plant in the middle, and it's just adorable. Like you actually cannot go wrong with this Loungefly. And then on the back, the part that'll be up against your back, there's like a cute little sketch, and it says EPCOT International Flower and Garden Festival 2023. This collection also has a Magic Band Plus, which is also adorable. I love how it has all those little sketches on it. Once again, it's very light. It's kind of pastel-y. It would match with a lot of things, I feel like, and it just represents the festival really, really well. we have those same images on pins, and we all know I love a good mug that is a planter. I have mine from a couple years ago here, actually. My plant is like dying, but it's right here. It's my International Flower and Garden Festival from 2020, and it has Mickey on it, but it is a planter that's a mug that I'm using as a planter, and I love those. Then we have a mug, which is really cute. I love the Travis mugs. I'm drinking, that's what I drink most of my drinks out of. Like my pomegranate lemonade is in the Art of Animation one right now. Figment trinket dish, more trash can salt and pepper shakers. And then we have the actual terrarium, which I would die for. If I was only going to get one piece of merch from this entire collection as a whole, like all the flower and garden merch, it would be this terrarium. It's adorable. You could plant the cutest little succulent in here and just have this EPCOT. It would be the perfect add-on to my little collection here of I have a food and wine cup with a plant in it, a flower and garden cup with a plant in it. I want that as an add-on so badly. Pass holder stuff, I could take or leave it this year. The Crocs, I love the Croc charms. I wish they sold those separately, but the actual Crocs themselves are just green Crocs with a flower and garden logo on them. So I kind of wish that they sold the charms separately because I like the charms. I just don't think it's worth it to pay that much extra for an actual pair of Crocs with the charms. And then more pins, and that's the merch. So, I don't know, maybe there's a part of me that's just maybe I'm just hating on the merch so much this year because I know I can't go, so I'm convincing myself that it's bad to want it. But at the same time, I don't know. I think I would hit hard with this Figment collection, but I don't know about the rest of it for sure. It might be a little off, but we'll see. Other than that, flower and garden, I mean, we've already said I love flower and garden, but some of the stuff, my perfect day in flower and garden is just walking around, looking at the topiaries, taking it all in, grabbing some snacks. Flower and garden has some of the best photo spots, I find, because you can have really natural looking photos with, for example, Festival of the Arts. They have a lot of photo opportunities with the paintings and stuff, but they're very staged photo opportunities, whereas flower and garden, I feel like there's so many more just naturally integrated photo opportunities with the flowers and such. And I love wearing cute dresses. Flower and garden really is the start to spring. In Canada, it is gross here until sometimes well into May, which kind of sucks. But flower and garden to me is when spring really starts. It just makes me happier. I love wearing cute t-shirts there. This is always where I try to debut my new spring dresses for the spring and summer. I love it. Bright colors. It's a chance to really bring out happiness. Can we even say that? I don't know. I feel winter's so depressing, and then you're here and you're just it is summer, it is spring. You're getting those hot days back. The humidity's starting to build up again in Florida. I love it. But anyway, I think we're going to end out the podcast here. I know this is a bit of a shorter episode, but I mean, like I said, we're not Disney News here. I'm just giving my opinions on what we got. And yeah, that's flower and garden basically for you. I don't think I really missed anything. So thank you so much for listening. If you haven't already, check me out on my other social medias at Part of Brooke's World, and subscribe to this podcast on your favorite listening platform, and give it 5 stars wherever you are listening, and even leave a review if you want, because reviews are really cool and I love to see it. Share it with your friends, all that fun stuff. But thank you again so much for listening, and I hope you have a magical rest of your day.